Let's start this thing.
What up, Mike? Toronto. VK on the beat. Check. I'm in Toronto where you wanna get a city love. I'm from Toronto where you wanna get a city love. I'm in Toronto like we wanna get a city love. My city love me back for my city love.
Welcome to episode 1494 of Toronto Mic'd, proudly brought to you by Great Lakes Brewery, a fiercely independent craft brewery who believes in supporting communities, good times, and brewing amazing beer. Order online for free local home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees. From Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. The Toronto Maple Leafs baseball team. The best baseball in the city outside the Dome. Join me and Toronto Maple Leafs CEO Keith Stein, the man with the master plan. We're at Christie Pitts, June 2nd. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. Season 6 of Yes We Are Open, an award-winning Moneris podcast hosted by FOTM Al Grego. And Ridley Funeral Home, pillars of the community since 1921. Today, making their Toronto Mic debut is Johnny D and Derry Gran. Say it for me, Derry. Grahan. You know what? I was going to butcher that no matter what, but welcome to the show, you two gentlemen from Honeymoon Suite. What a pleasure. Welcome.
Nice to be here.
What's up, man?
You got some nice stuff on the walls. What's this Friday the 13th?
That's the real deal, man. So that's an old mask. Like, that's not a replica. That's not like
pretty interesting.
You play hockey, Johnny?
No, I try to stay away from it. I don't like pucks.
You don't want pucks in the face.
No.
That's why they got masks.
Okay.
A lot of ground I want to cover with you too. But firstly, Derry, where does the name Derry come from? That's an unusual first name.
It's short for Dermot, which is Irish. I'm Dermot Fergus.
And the show I enjoyed from Northern Ireland was Derry Girls.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Derry Girls?
Yeah, I saw a bit of that. It was pretty funny.
You guys are at a Classic Bowl tonight in Mississauga, so I have a couple of questions off the top. First of all, Ed Souza, he's the guy behind these Classic Bowl concerts, right?
Yes, he is. And there's been many a times where I asked him to be our tour manager, road manager, whatever manager. He's so good at organizing and doing all these things.
How many bands will people see tonight? I got a note from Midtown Gord. 4 bands. So how is it that Lee Aaron goes first? Like, I feel like I don't make these decisions. Does Ed make these decisions? Who decides who goes in what order? That's a tough question off the top.
That is a good question. That's a great question.
I mean, you guys got a headline for sure, but I'm just curious. How do you decide? Okay, Lee goes first of the 4 bands. Just Ed makes the decision?
That's up to the promoter, which is Ed. So
up to Ed. Okay. So I'm going to ask some questions from listeners, and then I got some songs, and I got a special clip for you guys, and we're going to learn more about Honeymoon Suite. Looking forward to this. But Kevin in Alberta writes in, can you ask them about opening for a Glass Tiger show in Newmarket? I can't find any record of it, but I'm sure it was them. So this is a simple question for Kevin in Alberta. This has been haunting him for decades. Did you guys open for Glass Tiger in Newmarket?
I doubt it. No, usually it was the other way around in the beginning. And, we've done numerous shows over the years, different configurations.
I think that was answered quite well.
Well, let's find out from Johnny here. Do you have any memory, Johnny?
A memory of that?
Yeah.
I remember playing with Glass Tiger lots of times.
But maybe Glass Tiger opening for you guys.
Oh, yeah. I know that they did a tour with us opening for us, in the very beginning.
Of course.
Which is cool, but they're great friends of ours. And normally some of these festivals go for 3 days. So, they might be on the night before, but it's all the same thing. And who cares who was on first, really? It's not a come on.
It's like, who cares whose dick is bigger, right? Like, we're here to rock and roll.
Okay, there you go, bud. That was, okay, got it. First thing in the morning.
All right.
That was funny.
And OU812, okay, that's obviously a Van Halen reference. OU812 writes in.
We're going to get into Van Halen now. Okay.
Well, no, it's just a name.
No, it's not Derry's favorite band. It's like, Eddie, it's like, come on. It's true.
Ask them about the old days at Spanky's in Brampton. We were in high school and we used to load in for the bands that they played there a lot before they got big. And then did they, this is a really awkwardly worded question, but when did they ask us kids if we wanted to load in when we played our basically you're awesome guys, and I guess these guys were helping you guys load up at Spanky's in Brampton.
Man, that's going way back. I think we were any minute still a cover band at that point.
Oh,
Spanky's, yeah, you know.
Your first album has a thanks to Spanky's on it.
Spanky's, yeah, because we played there. If I remember correctly, we had a really special night in where's that, Brampton? That was the night that all the labels came up from the U.S. to see us, and we didn't know about it.
I thought that was in Toronto, but right. Anyways, I don't want to confuse you, but Spanky's in Brampton.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay. I know it. It's in my head. It's taken me a little bit to go back that far.
Yeah, OU812, he points out that you thank Spanky's on your first album, and he says, I saw them a lot back then. I got to see them in their hometown when they played Springalicious in Niagara Falls. Great night. Not sure if he still does it, but Johnny used to be a hairdresser.
Johnny used to be a hairdresser. I do not think so.
See, you're here to correct these myths that are floating around.
I'm definitely not.
You've never been a hairdresser.
No, it's hard enough taking care of my own hair. Anyways, that's pretty funny.
You guys, that's wild that he thinks you used to be a hairdresser. Okay, so that's not correct. OU812. You got a few things wrong there. But he says with all this, there's been a lot of Bon Jovi craziness because there was a documentary and then Bon Jovi did a lot of press for this. He says he remembers hearing a long time ago that it's because of Honeymoon, Sweet, and Loverboy that Bon Jovi came to Little Mountain Sound Studios to record Slippery When Wet with... and he, it's OU812. Maybe he ate a few too many.
No, that is true.
That's true?
That's
okay, tell me
correct.
about
That is true because Fairburn did our Big Prize record, which was amazing. And this is right before Bon Jovi. And I think it was Richie Sambora heard the record, and he turned John onto it. And because of that, they just loved the sound of it. And they tracked down Bruce and bang, they're at Little Mountain. So pretty cool.
Okay, he's got some stuff right here, OU812. Okay, good. Thanks for the comments there. By the way, Midtown Gord looks forward to seeing you tonight. He's going to be a VIP. So he says he's going to have a fantastic evening with you guys tonight at Classic Bowl.
Cool. See you there.
Shout out to Midtown Gord here. My friends, let's go back if you don't mind. Johnny, can you give us a little, I know you've probably told this story a million times, but you've never told it here. Just give us a little of the Honeymoon Suite origin story.
How it started?
Yeah. Like just how it came to be.
I was working in a cover band as a guitar player. All right. Now this band was not interested in really writing songs. Okay. Anyways, covers, but I was writing my own stuff. Right. And it was really hard to get it in there. Anyways, it just, I said, screw this. I need to move on. So I moved to Toronto and I said, geez, it shouldn't be too hard for me to get into a band playing guitar here in Toronto who wants to do something, but I couldn't, right? Nobody would hire me, so whatever. I put an ad in the paper, read something like management company seeks musicians to form long-term rock and roll project. And I put it in the Sun or the Toronto Star or something, and I given all these calls, and it was like crazy. Anyways, I'm trying to make this story short. My manager was an agent. Anyways, I formed my own band, right? And we went across the country playing covers and whatever, playing bars 3 nights a week. But I was doing my original stuff, and I'd send out set lists and whatnot, saying that we're going to do these songs. I get hired, and after the first night, the owner would go, well, how come you guys are not playing this song?
Right.
Bang, I was fired. Anyways, but some of those 3-nighters were great. We'd go in there, and... after the first night, there'd be a half decent crowd. Second night, it was like full. Third night, it was great. And okay, so we're going and going and going. And then my manager set me up. Oh, you got to meet Derry Grant. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. I pick up Derry. He's at rehearsal with some other band, right? And he gets in my car, doesn't say a word, and it's like, who is this guy? Anyways, he's got songs, and he plays this song. It's called New Girl now. I was like, so he's singing through a megaphone. I go, geez, man, this sucks. And it's like, I go, this is great, but you need a singer. Anyways, we got together, but before you know it, Derry was with me, and that was a long time ago. Like, that was decades ago, and he's lit right from the very beginning. He's like, New Girl Now, Burning in Love, Stay in the Light, Wave Babies, all that stuff came from this guy right beside me, right? And yeah, I can keep going on,
So you two, Derry, What's your relationship like with Johnny for all these years? You guys still close?
Yeah, I would say we're close. I mean, it's a friendship that goes back 40 years. We have our ups and downs. We're two different people, but we wouldn't be sitting here today and working together if we didn't, if we didn't have a, if we weren't like brothers or whatever you want to call it. It's been a long standing. I guess.
It's a respect.
Respect.
Thing. It's a respect for each other. I mean, like Derry said, we're two different people, but now it's really cool because I'm getting into the writing lots now, more so than I have. Like Derry's more of a principal writer, but like there's, I'm getting my.
You're wetting your beak.
Yeah.
Yeah, things have really shifted around in the last several years where Johnny's really come into his own. I've done a lot of co-writing myself with other projects over the years, which was, for somebody who wrote everything, to step outside of my comfort zone and learn how to do that. It is an art. And so Johnny has really stepped up there. And like this last record, the Alive record, it was me, Johnny, and our producer, Mike Crumpus, wrote the whole thing 3 ways. And it's a lot more interesting like that. I think it's better because of it. So, yeah.
Well said.
Well said, Derry. Now we're going to dive into that first big hit you wrote there. I want to ask a few questions about New Girl Now. Primarily, how does the original version of New Girl Now end up in the Q107 contest? Tell me about the Q contest. And I've been playing the 2 versions. I'm going to play a little bit of the original version just because you can hear how it changed for the version that most of us know.
Even before you play it, the first line, I believe, is different.
Yeah, well, it's cold winter nights or
cold
something?
Winter night, and it changed to hot summer night.
Yeah. So tell me, Derry, you wrote New Girl. You had this song. Did you know it was a hit when you wrote it?
No, I wrote it when I was in college. I went to Fanshawe College in London for a couple of years, and that was one of the first demos I did down there just as I was learning to write and produce. So that's where the first demo came out, where Johnny heard it. Me singing into a megaphone, which was like, "Cold winter night." I was trying to be cool. So that's where it started. And then with Honeymoon Suite, we started playing it in the bars. And we recorded it in our producer's basement. And the whole thing, we're trying anything and everything, to not be a cover band anymore. So we're submitting demos and stuff to labels all over the place. And one of them went to the Q107 and just really
homegrown contest?
Yes,
homegrown, yeah. And it really caught fire. And they started playing it, and we won it that year. And when we assigned us, because they wanted to put the record out like in the spring or the summer, they don't want cold winter night, storm clouds in the air. They asked, can we do something a little more summer themed? So I just, hot summer night. What is it? Storm clouds in the air?
Hot summer night, storm clouds in here. Okay.
So that was the change.
Have you sung that before, Johnny?
Yeah. I can't.
Did you sing that when you're asleep? Like you're sleeping?
I
singing
I just know the track.
Are you allowed to do a Honeymoon Suite show and not play New Girl Now, or would there be a riot?
Nah, we have to. We got to play that song, and it's a fun song, even after all this time.
Okay, so I'm going to play an early version of the song that talks about the winter night. I'm going to play a bit of it and then fade it down, and then we'll we'll talk about the differences and stuff. But here is, and tell me, I think this is the version from the homegrown contest. But let's listen to this in the headphones here.
You're not hitting off the G.
No, it's different.
What?
It's different.
No, you're not hitting off the G.
Winter night, yeah.
Snow is in the air.
Snow is in the air.
Snow is in the air.
Oh, jeez.
My eyes a little heavy. I'm feeling in the past and I'm hardly aware. I don't want you on the phone. Don't you play good girl with me. Why must I always say it again? I got a new girl now.
But the bones are there, man. You've got the song. It's just not quite the version we're all used to hearing on Q107 and elsewhere. But may I ask about a gentleman who came over here just last month to make his podcast debut? Like, not his Toronto Mike debut, but apparently it's the first podcast he's ever done in his entire life. And we talked about you guys. We talked about a lot of stuff. But what's the role of Bob Roper in all this? Like, does Bob hear this version and want to talk, or what happens? Give me the real scoop there, guys.
Yeah, he would have heard it. He would have heard it, and all the labels in Toronto would have heard it, and they all came out, and Bob stepped up and says, I want to put you guys on the label. I believe in this band.
I can, if I can add to that.
Please.
We're doing bars, right? And it's like there's this thing that goes. It's like the word gets out, and it's like, what's this Honeymoon Suite band? People are coming out, and this goes to back, and I know it goes to the labels. And there's always scouts, looking to go find new talent. And it was Bob Roper that came up to me after we did some show outside and said, "Look, we're going to sign you up." And I said, "Oh, bull junk, whatever." And
Right.
he goes, "No, there's nothing to take. We're going to do it." And it's like, wow. And it was like one of the best, most. It was a great moment for me.
So
That's Bob
Bob's
Roper.
listening right now.
Well,
so
I've said it on stage many a time, and I brought him actually on stage to say, if it wasn't for you, Bob, we wouldn't be here. And they took care of us for the whole signing of the 10-year term of Warner's, right?
Yeah.
And it was great.
Changed our lives, man.
Yes,
We
he
owe a
did.
lot to Bob.
Yeah.
You don't forget those moments. They don't come. They're hard to come by when you're a band.
And for any band, especially bands out there now, it's like, geez, it's tough.
It's tough sledding out there. Let me play the version that you. So let me get this right. You guys re-recorded, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm about to play the new version.
Yeah,
So,
the guitar part's different too.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like he goes, it's A, G, right? So he's not hitting off the G, right? So
Different players too.
and the tempo's different.
Okay, let's play a bit of that.
There you go.
Summer night,
It's better in the summer, by the way. They were right.
Okay.
storm clouds in the air.
A lot of difference.
My eyes a little heavy. I'm feeling in the past, some hardly aware. I don't want you on the phone. Don't you play good girl with me. Why must I always say it again? I got a new girl now.
I gotta wait till you play the. You gotta wait till you say the name of the song. I can't fade down till you tell me "New Girl Now." Okay, so this was not only sometimes you got these bands, you got a Canadian hit here, but this was a hit in the States too. Eh? This is a top. This is a. Lest we forget, this is a top 50 hit in the USA.
Wow.
Yeah, for your first single to hit.
You know what you had there? Like the secret sauce is the vocal. And kudos to Johnny. We had an instantly recognizable, a great lead singer, but he had his own identity as a singer. Like when you hear Reno on the radio or John Bon Jovi, the vocal, the singer is so important. That's what the labels listen to, and that's what radio people like and
Well,
pull
thanks,
people
Derek.
in. Well, you got to have that in the front.
Well, you
'cause-
got to have the music to sing too.
True.
I mean, what a track. I
it's-
mean, listen to that first track. Try singing to that.
Right. So
Yeah, thanks, Jerry.
that's, in my opinion, that's the trick.
I love the mutual admiration society. You need the vocals, you need the song. Yeah, you guys came together, and this is still a big jam. I
I've
still
been
hear
kicking
this.
around Toronto for a long time, different bands, and never found. I always knew, you got to have a great front man and a singer, and it'll happen.
Who named the band?
I always, geez, what a question.
Because you're
That
going
brings
to
me-
say, I always say. I don't want to know what you always say, John. I want to know the truth.
it's just, I never wanted to be called Honeymoon Suite. It sounds like a bar mitzvah band. All right. And I never, so there were a few names kept going around. I said, why don't you just go out as Johnny D? And I don't want to go out as Johnny D. Then Honeymoon Suite came up, and it's like, Johnny, you're from Niagara Falls. It's like, why don't you do that? So I went with it, right? And just let me say this.
Yeah.
Some of our first tours that we're doing are in the U.S. in front of, like, I don't know, ZZ Top or Jethro Tull or whatever. And it's like, ladies and gentlemen, Honeymoon Suite. What's the crowd going to think when you hear Honeymoon Suite? So it takes, like, 5 songs to let these people know, hey, we're a rock band, And it's like, oh, yeah. So that's the origins of Honeymoon Suite.
You know what's a worse name than Honeymoon Suite?
Go ahead.
Teenage Head. I got these are from Gene Champagne. He was here last
cool.
week, and he gave me these. Teenage Head drumsticks, but try break it in the States of a name like Teenage Head. It's a bad name. That's all I'm saying.
Is it?
Well, yeah,
Okay.
because it's a blowjob, right? Like, right there. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Derek knows what you're talking about.
Derry knows it. I'm looking at Derry. He knows what I'm talking about. Okay, but so New Girl Now, Bob Roper, you're now signed. You're charting in the USA. It's taken off for you. Because of time, honestly, I could do several hours with you, but we have to get you to a sound check at the Classic Bowl. So I'm going to kind of move quickly because there's these spots I got to hit. So let's move to the. That was a big first debut album. Let's just move to the second album because I can't get the song out of my head. This is a catchy ditty here. Let's play a little bit of this earworm. Although
Right.
New Girl Now is an earworm. You know, a lot of people are going to be hearing it for several weeks now because I played it on the pod. And by the way, thank you for the Wave Babies video, man. Young Mike fucking loved that video.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. Toronto Rocks, Wave Babies, let's go. Shout out to John Major, the late great.
If you would just be sensible, you'd find me indispensable. I played determined destiny. That place is you with me. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wanting you here in the sheets, wandering around incomplete, waiting so long to feel it again. I thought that this heart would never mend. To feel it again, I know it is the living end. To feel it again. I thought that this heart would never mend. To feel it again, I know it is the living end.
So, Derry, you wrote this one too, right?
No.
No, who wrote this one?
Ray
Giving you
Colburn.
credit, Ray.
Ray Colburn.
Okay.
Great song from him. Yep.
Okay, but you still, at this point, you're writing the lion's share.
Well, in the past I have, yeah.
For sure. Back here. So this is from the follow-up album, The Big Prize. And I'm just curious, what was the pressure like in Honeymoon Suite that to follow up the big debut? And you're, I'm sure you have your eyes set on, more American hits, right? Is that the goal?
Oh yeah, but we're working with Bruce Fairbairn now,
Yeah.
and he made it like really, really easy. This song, for example, I wasn't sure about it. He got words like sensible, indispensable, destiny, and it's like, oh, geez, Ray. He goes, well, give it a shot, Johnny, and I did. Anyways, the thing that I'm really proud of in this song is the chorus. To feel it again, and then it goes the high one. To feel it again, and it goes a high one. And I told Bruce, I go, this chorus really needs some. So he goes, well, what do you think it needs? I go, just let me get behind a mic. So I did that high one that you see. I can't do it live because it's whatever. I get Derry to sing it. But a totally interesting song. I love it now. I love the sound of it.
Yeah. So why does Ray Colburn leave the band?
Because he's a keyboard player. This is what they do. There's something about them. I don't know. It's
Kinda like
okay,
drummers, right?
It's like, hey guys, I'm bored. I'm gonna move on. Whatever. And
But he wrote a top 40 hit.
I know, but it's just Ray.
This is not
We
in
love
America,
the
by
guy.
the
Like
way.
he's a brother to us, and he's just, I don't know. It's definitely a keyboard player thing. But we're so happy that Peter Nunn's been with us for the last 3 decades now, and it's great. So it's like actually Peter Nunn is more original than Ray Colburn. But Ray is just one of those guys. But I say at the end of the day, he's like a brother to us. And if we call him up, it's like bang, he'd be back with us. But then we know he'd leave again, so we don't.
Derry, how many keyboardists says Honeymoon Suite? Now you got your guy for a long time here with Peter there, but how many keyboardists did you guys burn through in your time together?
Oh, man.
Well, I started off with a totally different.
Yeah, there was an original one.
Right.
And then Ray.
Then Ray, and then Peter, and that's all there's been. I mean,
Okay.
there's been.
Well, I have a special message for you guys. So you're going to hear it in your headphones. Feel it again. It's going to be stuck in my head for a long time now. But here's a special message that just came in from you guys.
Hey, Mike. It's Rob.
Rob
And
Bruce. We
I wish
forgot
that I
Rob.
could have zoomed in
Yeah.
to say hello to your special guests today. But I can't, unfortunately. I'm in a public school with my wife playing piano and teaching songs to some little motherfuckers. Some little kids. They're not motherfuckers. They're really cute, actually, but they sort of need all our attention. But I wanted to say hello to the dudes who are with you because I miss them so much. So hi, guys.
Hi, Rob. We can't.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you've got to spend some time here and meet Toronto Mike, because Mike is a good friend of mine now for the last couple of years. And I try to tell everybody I know. And I feel like it's a really special little universe to be a part of. And I'm excited that Mike is getting to hear your stories and talking to you guys. And I cannot wait to listen to what's going on with you guys. Congratulations on your continued music making through all of these years, because Lord knows that I played with you guys a hell of a long time ago. What is it now, like 36 years ago or something crazy like that? And I think of all the adventures that we had and how much fun it was, and it resonates through our lives to this day, which is super cool. And I'm so happy to see you guys out there doing it for all of our fans and all of your fans and all the people who still love all the music. And you guys are still together making the music. And I just think it's the coolest thing ever. Last time I played with you was in 2010, which is only 14 years ago. That's a long time ago. And I hope someday we can do it again. I would love one day for us to be able to make some music together somewhere, somehow. So yeah, that's it. I just want to say hello. Love you guys. And that's it. Ciao.
Yeah. How could we forget
so
Rob?
No. This is why. It's because we're into the big prize record, which is
Right.
Ray Coburn.
Right.
And then you started asking who's playing. But if we would have got
But
into,
I was setting you up because you're going to say
know.
the name Rob Bruce, and I'm going to play that.
No, but I was
Like, where's
just
the name?
because once we get into the Racing After Midnight record,
Right, which
this
is
is
now,
what
right.
he's.
Right.
This is where Rob Bruce comes into play. Right.
Yeah, and like Ray, and we kind of got left high and dry just up in after the big prize, incredible record. It's like I want to
Right.
leave, and it's like
Right.
wow. So fortunately, Rob came into our view, and he fit. He was great. He was a pro, and he was a great guy to come in.
Well,
Yeah.
in a minute, I'm going to play a big radio hit that has Rob Bruce on keyboards. But before that, please tell me, how do you guys get the to record the title track for Lethal Weapon? What's the story there? I know that Rob Bruce is on that song.
Mm-hmm.
Derek, go for it. It's a record company thing. It's Ted Templeman. Anyways, Derek can explain it. Much better than
We ended up being on Warner Brothers. Our U.S. label was Warner Brothers in Burbank, and Ted Templeman, famous world-class producer, was head of A&R at he was a big guy there at Warner's. So Warner Brothers Pictures, this new movie come out, Lethal Weapon. Nobody had heard of it, but it was finished, and the soundtrack was all done except for the title track, which is written by Michael Kamen, but they didn't have a band. They needed a band to record it. Ted was a fan of our band because Warner put our record out, and we were on his radar. He liked the band.
Right.
So he suggested, in his infinite wisdom, let's bring these guys down and see, get them to cut the Lethal Weapon. So that was our first experience with Ted. We flew down to L.A. and went in the studio, and Johnny heard the little demo, which he didn't like.
Anyways, let me start off by saying this. Ted Templeman is Van Halen's producer. We know that, right?
Yeah.
So I really respect him and all that. But we were in Los Angeles, and studios, I don't know. You're laying down beds and all that. So I just need to hear the tempos and whatnot. And then I had to get out of there. Anyways, I go back to Toronto. I was living in Toronto. Just needed a week or just get out of this LA scene sort of thing. And I go home, and then they go, listen to this song because we want you to track it. And the song's called Lethal Weapon. They played this over the phone to me. And I go, I can't. There's no freaking bad attitude. Lethal Weapon. Oh, come on.
Right.
It's like, no, this is complete. No, this ain't Honeymoon Suite. Anyways, Ted gets on the phone with me. Just come on back, John, and do whatever you got to do behind the microphone. He goes, anything, Ted? And, I took Michael Kamen's lyric and all that sort of stuff, and I just went with it. And he goes, this is great. And it's like, you're going to let it go, Ted? And he goes, yeah, okay, then it's fine. I got my stamp on it. Go. you know, but I did not like the piece of music I was hearing.
Interesting.
Ted can be very persuasive.
Yes, he can.
But his instincts are bang on. And what was good about that, I mean, it was a big hit and got in the movie, ton of exposure for us. But the next step was Ted decided to produce our next album.
Yeah, Racing After Midnight's produced by Ted Templeman.
Right.
Now, before we play the cut, I would hear all the time on 680 CFTR, a big jam here coming up. But first, I need to ask you, Johnny, about the car accident.
Oh, jeez.
Like, I know you don't want to talk about it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm alive. I didn't go under the car.
You're alive.
I ended up on top.
No shout out to Ridley Funeral Home.
No, that was good. I went to the airport to pick up somebody at the time, and there's so many lanes to get from the airport to actually where you park your
LAX,
car. Yeah, LAX. And like I'm walking slow. I'm looking at all these buses and all this sort of stuff. I know the deal. Like I've been to many airports. I don't want to get hit by no freaking car. Anyways, there's a car park. It's got this laneway. On my last lane before I got to my vehicle, bang! I got nailed by a car, but I didn't know it at the time because I went black. Black. Next thing I know, I'm on the ground and I can hear all this yelling. There's this cop yelling at this girl. And then what the hell? I look at the car. The windshield's broken, right? And this cop's just laying into this girl. Girl starts crying. Next thing, cop comes up to me. My eyes opened up, I guess, and he goes, "You've been hit by a car." And I said, "Oh, really? Oh, okay." Anyways, I guess, well, how's my face? Because I got to do a photo shoot in New York. Like the next goes, "Sir, your face is fine, but your leg is not."
Your leg is fucked.
Anyways, I look at my leg and it's going left, right, and every which way. And it's like, then the pain set in, right? Then it's a matter of you hear the ambulance, and then they got to lift me up. Then they bring me to one hospital and say, "You got no insurance." What do you mean I got no insurance? Anyways, they bring me to another one. I'm getting lifted. Finally, anyways, they brought me to this university hospital. Sorry, this is getting long. They brought me to this university hospital, and they straightened out this leg, put me in this chair where you hold your hands into this little thing really, really tight. It's hard to explain. And the leg got straightened out. I got sent back to Toronto and got to the Wellesley Hospital. Dr. Hastings was his name, who was the Maple Leafs doctor.
Oh.
So that's my hockey sort of thing. But anyways, yeah, you go, "You need surgery, buddy." And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
They put a pin in my leg, straightened out I don't know if it's tibia, fibia, whatever. It was cracked all over the
All
place.
the ibias, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. So anyways, I wore this pin, and like 8 weeks later, like a hockey player just busted his leg. I was ready to go, and we did that video
Wow.
looking out for number one. And the guy goes, and I told the director, producer, whatever you want to call him, I go, "I want to drive that motorcycle." And he goes, "No, you can't. Insurance won't let you." I go, "Screw this." I took the motorcycle
Look
out.
at you. That's a rock star right there.
Geez, screw that. I'm a bike rider, and I had this little cast on it you couldn't see, but anyways, it was fun.
Now, Derry, during this period of when Dee's on the sidelines there, you gotta play with Michael McDonald. Is that right? Michael McDonald steps in to help out.
So one of the tracks on Racing was Long Way. What is it? Long Way. What's the name of that song?
No, that's not Long
Long Way,
It's about a boy.
What's the name of the track? I don't even know, but there was one of them and we cut all the beds. The music was done, and for the life of me, we could not get the right lyric on. We had really struggling with what's this song about in the lyric. So Ted, being Ted, said, "Let me send it over to Michael McDonald." And I said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, Mike's a really great friend of mine, from the Doobies."
Yeah.
He did. Sends it over. Next day, Michael shows up at the studio. Here's your lyric, boys. And he comes in and sings the lyric over the track. Boom, it's done. So
yeah, I just have to. You can't cop Michael McDonald. I mean, that was a hard lyric to sing. What's the name? Did you got the name of that track there somewhere?
Oh, I didn't. No, I didn't. Wasn't looking for it. I don't have it, but I do. I'm now thinking of the SCTV skit with Rick Moranis.
yeah,
where they
such a long way to go.
So-
Yeah.
yeah. And then Michael
That-
McDonald just
it's-
runs in, drops a lyric for Honeymoon Suite, gets out of there.
And Michael is just, so he's stuck. Ted said, "Can you stick around, man, and help with the vocals?" And Mike said, "Yeah, whatever." Next thing I know, I'm out on the floor. Johnny had cut the lead vocal. I'm out on the floor with Michael McDonald and myself around a mic doing the background vocals. How surreal is that?
It's wild.
Yeah.
Move over, Kenny Loggins. Derry's here. Wow, but you recovered after not
I was telling you, 8 weeks later.
8 weeks later.
After I got back into
Because
Toronto.
the mythology of this now is like you're on death's bed, honeymoon suite. The momentum is kind of fucked up by it. It's like
Well, stories go, but like I say, I ended up
Print the legend.
over the car rather than under. If I had
okay, your head was fine.
yeah,
Fuck, it could have been so much worse. So yeah,
All
you
right.
know,
yeah. Okay.
every band's got to have something like that, and we came through it.
yeah.
All right, I'm going to play a song. I promised Rob Bruce I'd play something that he plays on. So I'm going to play a jam I always loved, and then we'll get to the new stuff. And there's an ad I'm going to play. I got a few points to touch. We're going to be on target here for time, but I got to play a little bit of a Rob Bruce on keyboards, everybody. Rob, by the way, will be here Sunday for Toast. So Rob's in town. Hey, Rob's in town. We should get him to Classic Bowl tonight for a cameo. He's in town. He's in Burlington. Yeah, his mom's in Burlington.
Oh, tell him to come on. Co-writer too. By the way, Rob was a great writer. He's a co-writer on this as well. So
Okay, Rob Bruce, co-write. He also co-wrote Romantic Traffic for Spoon.
Wow.
And Spoons are at Classic Bowl tomorrow night.
Right.
Rob, you should be at both shows, buddy.
There was a time I wore a different face. I stood alone. Feelings had no place. I've given it all, taking nothing back. You brought this lonely heart back in from the cold. Just like a fire, burning higher. You got my heart on a string. Now I know love changes everything. I don't need money.
All right, this is from Racing After Midnight. Love changes everything. And what does Rob add to this? Just some of the music there? Is that what Rob's adding to this track?
well, you hear his keyboards in there, and like I say, he's a co-writer on it. I mean, I came in with the idea, but Johnny and Rob and we all helped finish. I don't know exactly what he wrote, but we wrote it. We finished it together, and that's what's important.
For sure here. All right, gentlemen, I saw Johnny was looking at some of this stuff in front of you. So let me just tell you guys very quickly here because of time that I don't know, you guys are rock stars. Do you even drink anymore? All the rock stars I know are just drinking Perrier now.
Yeah, you've got to be really careful with that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Well, be careful with the Great Lakes beer. I'm going to give you here some fresh craft beer to take home with you here. And Derry, you live in the States, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how long are you in town for?
Chill tomorrow.
Till tomorrow.
Go home tomorrow.
So how often you just come by for shows now and then? How often do you get back to Ontario?
Well, this time in the spring and summer, it's every weekend, but this is the way it is. We do festivals. So not only me fly up from the States, all these guys, we fly wherever we need to go. Edmonton, Vancouver, Halifax, somewhere in the States. Everybody just gets the plane and flies there. So
It's awesome.
we're together a lot.
That's awesome that you guys are still playing. That is awesome. So fresh craft beer from Great Lakes Brewery. These books here, this is the history of Toronto Maple Leafs baseball. They play at Christie Pitts, and I will be throwing out the first pitch, believe it or not, on June 2nd. I'll also
cool.
be recording live. It's going to be amazing. So Christie Pitts, everybody be there for like 1:45 p.m. for the opening ceremony. See if I throw a strike, and come out to some games this year. Good food, good time. So thank you, Toronto Maple Leafs baseball. That's the history book. The measuring tape is from Ridley Funeral Home. Measure what you wish. I don't need to know, Derry. I don't need to know. Okay, you got your measuring tape. This is actually awesome from Moneris. I know, pause for effect, but Moneris is giving you these wireless speakers. You can connect by Bluetooth. They're amazing, but you need to subscribe to Yes, We Are Open, which is an award-winning podcast from Moneris. It's hosted by Al Grego, who is an award-winning podcaster. I want you to know about recyclemyelectronics.ca, because if you have old devices and cables, etc., you go to recyclemyelectronics.ca. I don't think this works in Nashville, actually, or anywhere in the States, but you can do it there, Johnny. Find out where you should drop that off to be properly recycled. And Palma Pasta, they're going to feed all of us at Great Lakes Brewery on June 27 from 6 to 9 p.m. That's worth the flight there, Derry. Get your butt to Great Lakes on June 27 for TMLX 15. Join us all. I'm playing an ad that really needs to have a bit of visual here.
New generation style.
Oh, no.
You need the visual.
Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
All right, Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
Derry did. I sat. Oh, forget it.
What do you have to say about that there, Johnny?
Oh, you did. Was it a Pepsi commercial?
That's
Yeah,
a Pepsi
that's it.
commercial. And I have to disclaimer, man, that's not me playing.
Not you playing, but that's you fake
Yes.
playing.
Yes,
Okay.
because the kid's name was not a kid anymore. His name's Vinny Moore, who's a friend of mine, amazing shredder, guitar player guy. Vinny'd already done the track by the time they called me up. And so they just wanted somebody to come in and audition, pretend to play it. It's a long story anyways.
But you had to look.
I guess so, because I was a guitar player, so I looked like a guitar player. So
Yeah, you look like a rock star, and they're like, we need a rock star for
Was
this
that
Pepsi
ad?
commercial.
Sorry, was that ad on your screen?
No, I just had the audio. I just had the audio.
Because I was
yeah.
thinking to myself, geez, that's that Pepsi thing.
Yeah, that's the Pepsi commercial with Dairies in that Pepsi commercial.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I recognize it.
It's a
Okay, cool.
30-second commercial that took a week to film in L.A.
Why did it take so long?
Because it just does.
It's Pepsi.
They had
It's
to
like
set
It's
up-
you, it's Michael Jackson, right? It's who else was in the Madonna?
It was a big production thing, whatever.
But they should have had you play. I guess it was already done.
It was already done, and I don't shred like that. That's not my thing, and that's
Right.
what they required.
They wanted an Eddie Van Halen
and
thing.
he's amazing. So who knows?
But did you audition for this? Like, is this like a gig you auditioned for?
Yeah, well, it was just one of those off the cuff things. I was in again Los Angeles with our with our manager, and there's so many things happening at once with me and the Johnny and the band at that time. Stuff was happening all the time, and just out of the blue, Steve called me up and said, "There's a Pepsi commercial. They need a guitar player for. They've been auditioning handsome actors." But when they give them a guitar, they look
Right.
awkward, and
Right.
they look the part, but they don't look like a guitar player. So, I threw your name in there. Oh, thanks, Steve. So just go down, to wherever this audition is, and just walk in. So I did, just for the hell of it. And I think they gave me a tennis racket and said, "Pretend to play." So, yeah.
Well, you know what? They need a handsome guy who looks like he can play. There's only one man for that job. And he wasn't available, so Derry did it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
No, Derry, you're the guy for that job.
It's just what we did at the time. It was good for the band too.
I mentioned a minute ago I gave you those books, and I said because I was at the Toronto Maple Leafs baseball game at Christie Pitts on May 12, and I was sitting with Rick Emmett, and then I realized that. So Johnny D, your solo album Songs in D,
Yeah.
you played with Rick Emmett.
Well, he came and did a track. Had different players. Even Derry came out on it.
So Derry, Kim Mitchell, Rick Emmett. This is quite.
It came out like it's something. Derry had moved to the America, and it's like, okay, this is weird. Like, then I'm in my garage now and start writing songs, and I ended up with different. By the time I was done, I had like 16 songs. It's like, what do I do? Anyways, things sort of made it play, but the only thing that I can say is I wanted to, didn't want it to be Honeymoon Suite, and I wanted to go out as Johnny D to make it separate. But I went out and played a couple shows, and as soon as I'd pull up, it'd say Honeymoon Suite on the marquee. Right. And this is not
Right.
working out too good. Right. And now I want to do another solo record, and I'll hit it right. But after, as long as can we get into the new record now, if you don't mind? Because it's
we're there now. Yeah,
it's
we're absolutely-
intertwined.
Well, you want me to play a little bit and then bring it, or you finish your thought there?
Okay, anyways, it's intertwined because I was thinking about doing a solo record and doing it properly, and putting it out as Johnny D. But now Frontiers wants to do another record, so me, Derry, and Crumpus are starting on another record other than Alive. So
no, other than Alive, because Alive is still fresh.
Alive is still fresh, and it's
2024 fresh.
And it's like Derry had some time after a show we did in Kitchener, I believe, and our Mike Crumpus lives in Oshawa now, which is not far. So we spent 2 days, with Mike again, and getting on the table. And what do we got here? And anyways, after like, I don't know, a couple days, we got like great tracks, and it's like, oh geez, we got to do this again already, Okay, so another
You got to
record.
pace yourself.
Yeah,
Well,
you know what, these things take a long time. It's great to get a good start on them, but back to the solo thing. Okay, that's out of the question for me at this point.
It's
'cause-
Honeymoon Suite.
Yeah,
now.
it's Honeymoon Suite. Yeah.
And Derry, you're on board, right? I mean, I'm going to play a bit of the song Alive in a moment here, but how's the new Honeymoon Suite stuff sounding to you, Derry?
The new songs, well, it's, we just started writing. They are an extension of what's on Alive, We've only worked on 2 or 3 things, but they're exciting, And it's just going to be more straight up. I think we're refining the sound. Where we started on Alive, it's going to take it one step further.
If I just might add, it's going to be a lot easier because Crumpus lives in Canada now. And we had to travel to, the UK and Nashville and all this sort of stuff to follow this guy. Now he's like up the street, so it's really cool.
Yeah, that's a whole story, the making of Alive. That's another podcast, but we went all over the friggin' world, but finally, and then COVID in there
Yes.
too.
Well,
But
actually, let's
it got
spend the
done.
last 10 minutes. We have 10 minutes left. Let's spend it on. So, again, because we talk about the new stuff and then we talk about the new stuff, and it's like, this is the new stuff and the new stuff. Okay, so Alive, this album is available now.
Yes.
Okay. And this new album is actually still being developed. You mentioned, Derry, you're only a few songs deep or whatever. But the natural name of this new album is Dead, right? You're going to call this Dead? Derry doesn't find it as funny as I find it. Okay, so can I play some Alive? And then I want to hear about the making of Alive and the sequel and how it all kind of comes together here. So let's play some of the new Honeymoon Suite.
Got a lot of noise in my head, don't lose control. Moving all directions, don't wanna go. Bite it all on me, I'm not afraid. Let it fall like rain, I won't wash away. Nothing that you say can talk me out of you. I don't need a reason not to try. 'Cause you make me feel alive. We don't need to have everything. Spend our lives chasing time. Take what we got and follow me. Let it follow us, 'cause this is hard to find. Nothing that you say can talk me out of you. I don't need a reason not to try. Say something, one thing to hold on to. 'Cause I wanna feel alive. Nothing that you say can talk me out of you. Nothing that you say can talk me out of you. Out of you. I don't need a reason not to try. Say something, one thing to hold on to. 'Cause I wanna feel alive.
Yes, guy. It sounds great. Fucking great. You guys should be very proud.
I am. I love it.
Yeah, like, you know,
Jeez, I love that song.
honestly, I mean, normally, oh yeah, we got some. Okay, so that was left over from the official video on YouTube there, but sounds fucking great. So who wrote this one?
That's all 3 of us.
Collab. So, name check who's on it. I got it just so we can keep track. Obviously, you two are the kind of the core members, but who's on this track besides you, Derry, and you, Johnny?
You mean the writers or
Every
players?
players. I mean, sorry.
Well,
Players.
Mike Crumpus is the other writer, our producer, and Dave and Gary and I did some keyboards. Mike did some keys. Peter probably
did
did.
some
You know,
keys.
it was a lot of, you know.
It's a huge collaboration. It's like, and at the end of the day, there's so many different tracks from so many different players, and in-house, the band. But
Like hearing that,
Mike put it all together though was great.
beautiful. Hearing that, when you play it tonight at Classic Bowl, it's going to fit right in with these legacy hits too. It's going to fit right in.
This is the tough part. We got this record, but we can't get together to rehearse for like two weeks or something like that to get these new songs into the set. So they're slowly getting into the set. Okay, so it's really, really difficult. Okay, play this song, and it's like the only time we really can get together is in sound check, right? And it's like then it takes a little bit. So and there's so many songs that people want to hear that they know, and you only have so much time on the stage.
Right.
So we're doing a few of them. We're working the new
You're
tracks.
doing that one, right?
We're gonna try. We're still working on it.
You better.
Okay, I can see your finger.
I want that better be played tonight. Okay, go ahead.
We're trying to get as much as we can into the set, but I see you better sing that song, Johnny. Okay.
Well, you love it. I can tell by your eyes when you're listening that you're like, I love this song.
Well, I can see you doing the same thing.
Well, I was gonna fade it down
and
and
it's
talk
like
to
as
you
soon
about
as
it.
that
I'm like,
guitar solo came in, it's like,
It's
no,
like-
I got to keep this going.
we got to keep going here.
And you know what? I think it's a really cool song because it's nice and short.
Is there any frustration at all from you guys, from people who are like, they just want New Girl now? Like, it's like, you're like, dude, that was the 80s. Listen to us
You know what?
today.
That's totally fine.
You're
But
fine.
we're not that band. It's like we're gonna play New Girl now but we're always gonna write songs. I don't want to be that band that just continues on their past successes, that kind of thing. I'm not saying that it's wrong. It's just not for us. Derry's always writing. We're always, we always want to move ahead and move forward. Like we talk about moving forward, we're just already starting a new record on top of a new record,
Hey, so Midtown, we're live streaming at live.torontomike.com, and Midtown Gord said he wants you to know he really likes the new album. So these are your legacy fans who are absolutely loving the new stuff. Absolutely. And I got a note too from Basement Dweller who wants me to ask you, Derry, about a forthcoming instrumental solo album. Any update on this?
Yeah, it's done. It's going to be just a guitar record, all guitar, and it's called Dirty Power.
What's that mean?
And it's done. I'm just waiting for it to get manufactured, and it'll come out in a couple months.
Okay,
Can
but
I
yeah-
ask a question? Because this is
Anything.
all new to me. I'm going to ask it to Derry.
Please, let's hear
What's
it.
Dirty Power? What
Dirty-
does that mean?
Mind blow.
Dirty Power is actually a roadie term from Damon told me about it, my tech, that when you get into some of these shitty old theaters and gigs where the power supplies
Oh,
the
okay, that's
wiring is
interesting.
crappy.
Oh, I
and
wasn't great name.
We're firing up the amps. Damon goes, Dermot, I got your rig, but we got some freaking dirty power tonight. So, you play and your sound, your level goes up and down because you got dirty power in the venue.
Oh, that's
So I just
totally
think, yeah.
interesting. Well, I'm glad that I asked the question
Yeah,
for all
I
your
think your
Dairy
mind went
Grand,
somewhere
Dairy
else.
Grand fans will know at least the titles
I
about.
just thought it was cool sounding.
is a
so,
cool-
there you go.
Dirty Power.
Dirty
I wasn't sure.
Power.
It could have been dirty
Okay,
anything.
so what are you working on? Lots of stuff here, Derry. I can't keep track of it all. So there is a new Honeymoon Suite album that's in the works right now.
We started writing. Mm-hmm.
Started writing.
We
Okay.
started writing.
No title yet. You're very early.
No, we're a ways off, but we're getting an early start on it.
If it is named Dead, though, you're gonna take back that giggle you gave me there because that's a natural. A lot of-
Never.
It's not going to be called Dead.
No, save that for a posthumous release in 50 years. Save that one there. But that's wild, instrumental. So, Johnny, like when you guys have projects that don't involve Honeymoon Suite, do you guys give each other like a courtesy phone call? I'm just wondering, is there a call?
For
Like,
sure.
just I wonder how aware are you, Johnny, that Derry's got a dirty? You didn't know the name, obviously, you just learned it, but that he's got a solo album coming.
Well, I
out
know
with
that he
him.
was working on it. I know that he sent tracks to Dave Betts to do drums on it. So all the power to him. I think it's great, and it's like it's like he wants to do his own thing. Go for it. He doesn't have to deal with me and vocals and say I'm not doing
We're
that.
really
singing."
transparent. Like Johnny, when he did his songs and D's, like I'm going to do this solo record, man, I said, go for it. I mean, it only helps the band. And Honeymoon Suite's the mothership, right?
Yeah.
And that will always be there.
That's
But
Mothership. That's cool.
and Johnny, I
That's the name of
encouraged
your new
him.
album, Mothership.
Yeah, that's kind of neat.
I encourage him because, and mine's a guitar record. It'll be for my guitar noob fans, whatever. So it's all good. We're very transparent about what we
It's
do.
just a constant writing thing. Like he's on stage playing these riffs, and I gotta stop and go, okay, what the frig is that, Derry? And it's like, well, that's gonna go on my solo record. I go, well, maybe it shouldn't. Anyways, whatever.
Because that could be a song.
Well, it could be a song, and it's like, okay, well, I'll see what I'll listen to it and see what he's done. But he's always, we're always fiddling around.
Well, I got lazy. In COVID, I had a lot of time at home to play, so these riffs came out. I just didn't want to write lyrics and melody for them, so I just made them instrumentals.
Right, there you go. You don't have to deal with me.
So now getting to know Johnny a little bit here, I got a question for you, Johnny, just
Go
before
ahead.
I play us out here, which is like, has there ever been a Honeymoon Suite song that initially, maybe it's a song Derry wrote or whatever, and you heard it and you said, that's shite. But
Yes.
then you record, but then,
Yes.
but that, of
Yes,
course,
I
yes.
have.
But then it's recorded, and then it's kind of in the
You can't
wild.
do nothing about it.
But has there ever been a time where you said, Derry, I was wrong about that song. That's actually
Yes.
a great fucking song.
Yes, I have. So yes. There's been times where I said, "Geez, I wish I would not have changed it," and then there's times where I wish I wouldn't have sang that, and I'm not going to tell you what, but it's like there was
That's my next question, buddy.
in the very beginning, when things are like so fast, right? We got this first, writing, and it's like. And then I sang some stuff and I listened to it. And it's like, yeah, okay, I got to take it because I sang it. But yeah, there's times where I go, geez, I wish I had not sang that. But
And Derry, now that you're not, you're not writing everything. Like, so is there something that you didn't write and you're like, okay, I'll play on this and we'll put this out, but this is not very good. This is not Honeymoon Suite worthy. Has that ever happened, Derry?
Well, yeah, but I'm not going to name songs. I mean, in the beginning, we didn't even. There was a couple songs that we cut from other writers, because
forgot about that.
just from pressure from management and labels, and I didn't. We probably could have, written more songs, but that was just the way it was. And,
Yeah.
overall it worked. So we move on.
On a good note, the band is in a really, really good place right now. I mean, we've gone through so much different musically and touring and all that sort of stuff. We're in a good place.
You're in a good place.
Yeah.
You guys look great. You sound great here. On our way out, I just had Greg Fraser over to talk about Brighton Rock. And Brighton Rock, I hope, Greg, are you listening? But it's kind of like a Honeymoon Suite Junior a little bit, I find. Like a sort of like, I would say like Max Webster being like, Rush Jr. or whatever. But Brighton Rock, what was your relationship like with Brighton Rock? Is this a Bob Roper thing? What can you...
Same management, the whole thing, yeah. Started with our managers, took them and got us on the same label, yes.
All right, shout out to Brighton Rock. There's again Greg Fraser episode in the feed here. But Johnny, Derry, I love the chat, man. I was
great,
watching my
thanks.
clock. I said, okay, 11's my heart out. It's 10:59.
Oh, geez, that was quick.
Yeah, I told. What did I say? I said at the end of it,
exactly what you said.
You'll say you'll want another hour, but you guys said an hour. I'm a man of my word. I would have done 2, but
No, that's great. No, that's great.
what a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
So thank you for the deep dive into Honeymoon Suite. Great Canadian band. We did lose Derry to the States, but there's no chance you'll ever move back.
He's got family here. He'll be back.
Never say never, man. Canada's, look, I love Canada. It's our bread and butter. I'm here all the time. So no love lost for this country, but I just like, moving other places, and it's good for the band, good for the music, whatever.
Yeah, no, and you're a happy guy, and you're looking great. And they were right to book you for that Pepsi commercial. You should still be in Pepsi commercials, but this time you should play. You should play.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the end of our 1,494th show. You can follow me on Twitter, Blue Sky, all over the place at Toronto Mike. Is it honeymoonsuite.com? Where's a good place we can send people if they want to find out about upcoming shows and new music?
There's honeymoonsuite.com, honeymoonsuiteband.com. It'll take you to the same place. That's our website. All the dates are on there. Go to Instagram. It's pretty active. All the dates in Facebook. That's where it is. For the merch, it's called rockpapermerch.com. That's our web store. It's amazing. It's got everything vinyl, CDs, shirts. It's all totally current and old stuff. So rock paper merch.
Yeah. Rock Paper Merch. Get your Honeymoon Suite gear, even though Johnny didn't love the name. It stuck, and
Yes, it worked.
Too late to change it now.
Yeah, it worked. It's not. That's been just last thing. Why don't we? There was a time music was different, and it was like Honeymoon Suite, whatever. Let's change the name. I go, not gonna happen.
HMS for
Too
you,
late now.
you cool kids
Yeah.
out there. Just HMS. We'll just call it. Much love to all who made this possible. That's Great Lakes Brewery. That's Palma Pasta. That's RecycleMyElectronics.ca. That's the Toronto Maple Leafs baseball team. Join me June 2nd. That's Monaris, Ridley Funeral Home, Pillars of the Community. See you all Sunday with another episode of Toast with another guy who was in Honeymoon Suite, Rob Pruce. See you all then. And we'll see Bob Willett there too, but Bob I don't think was ever in Honeymoon Suite. Peace and love. See you then.
And I play this guitar just the best that I can.